300 years that a Speaker has effectively been forced from office. For more than a week, he's been at the centre of a storm of criticism over his handling of the row about MPs' expenses. It's understood he plans to step down soon rather than immediately. Here's our political correspondent, Ross Hawkins.
Hearts of strangers!
The House of Commons is supposed to defer to the Speaker. Today, its members forced him out of his job. This afternoon, he'll tell MPs he intends to stand down soon.
Speaker Martin has been an obstacle to reform, and although he is by no means the only problem, changing the Speaker is a necessary step to take to deal with the allowance and expense fiasco we presently have.
And Michael Martin is a thoroughly decent man who made a mistake, and his mistake was that last year he should have insisted on total disclosure of all MPs' expenses. But it should be remembered that the key committee, the House of Commons Commission, is stuffed full of senior members of the Labour, Tory and Liberal parties. What were they doing at the time?
Gordon Brown refused to get dragged into the debate.
It's for the Speaker to tell the House of Commons first what his intentions are, and I think it's only fair to wait until he says that. It is not for the Prime Minister to tell the Speaker what to do.
Yesterday, Michael Martin offered his apologies for the way he had handled public fury about MPs' expenses.
I am profoundly sorry.
But for some MPs, that wasn't nearly enough.
A motion of no confidence in you, sir, will appear on the order paper tomorrow. Am I right in thinking it will be debated tomorrow and voted upon?
When will members be allowed to choose a new Speaker with the moral authority to clean up Westminster?
Many out there will not believe that we are serious about the changes that are necessary as long as you are in the chair.
This is the no confidence motion that helped force out a Speaker. But some of his supporters thought it was just a distraction from the real issues.
The thing I find revolting is the scapegoating aspect. And I think one crucial thing that we've got to do following all this is we've got to take the role of the Speaker right out of anything to do with our pay and allowances.
But beyond the confines of Westminster, the prospect of the Speaker's departure has proved welcome to some.
I think it's good news, and I feel that he should resign.
Well, I think we need somebody a lot more who's honest and will do the job properly, for the government. And I think he's lost all the respect of the politicians.
I think he should have taken more responsibility for what's been happening with all these expenses claims and what have you.
The last Speaker to be forced from office lost his job over 300 years ago. Today, Michael Martin won his own place in history. Ross Hawkins, BBC News, Westminster.
Joining me now is the Conservative MP Douglas Carswell, who tabled that motion of no confidence in Michael Martin. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You've certainly got the result you wanted.
I think it's good that he's stepping down, but I began my campaign to unseat the Speaker not as Mr Martin's enemy and still less as a Tory MP, but as a new MP in the House of Commons, profoundly disturbed and appalled by the way Westminster doesn't work. We need change, and I think our House of Commons is not working. MPs are seen as parasites. Our legislature is supine and spineless. We need change, and that means a new Speaker, and it means reform.
Isn't he just being made a scapegoat?
Absolutely not. All 650 MPs need to be made personally accountable for every pound of public money they have spent. Removing the Speaker isn't about that. It's about putting in place the sort of reforms that mean anyone can hold their MPs to account, not only over how politicians spend their expenses, but over how politicians do their job. We need a Speaker who understands that sovereignty of Parliament is shorthand for sovereignty of the people. We need a reform to our democratic system that allows people to have much greater say over what the political class in Westminster do on their behalf.
And we're told, we understand, obviously we'll hear when he makes a statement this afternoon, that he will be standing down soon, not immediately. We understand that could be some weeks. I mean, is that soon enough, given the change you say is needed?
It would be extremely wise if he stood down in a few weeks and not immediately, precisely because I think we now need a proper contest under the amended Standing Orders 1B to allow all the contenders for the job to set out their stall as to what they will do to reform Westminster. We can then have a secret ballot free from manipulation by party whips, where the best man or woman to reform Westminster, clean up the House of Commons, can come forward. We need this as a way of launching this progressive agenda with support from all reformers in Westminster and beyond.
Douglas Carswell, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Well, Michael Martin has been Speaker of the House for 9 years, but recently his role has become embroiled in a series of controversies. Our political correspondent Carol Walker has been looking